I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to the Resistance. Do you see these three people? Guess what they have in common? All right, I'll help you out. They were all born before the first McDonald's started selling hamburgers for 15 cents. They were all born before anybody could buy a color television. They were born before we even started talking about putting a man on the moon, before Medicare even existed. You know, when my kids were little, they'd ask their grandpa how old he was, and he'd say, "Well, I'm older than dirt." And they would laugh and say, "No, sir." And he would say that when he was a kid, they didn't have dirt to play in unless they broke up rocks and made their own. He comes from these folks' generation. Now, I don't mean to offend older people by this video, and I apologize if I do. But you can imagine how when I was on my way to work the other day and learned that the second oldest dinosaur in this picture was endorsing the oldest dinosaur in this picture to run for the U.S. Senate in Maine against the youngest dinosaur in this picture. I wanted to pull over at the road construction part and lay down in front of the road roller. And he did it on the day that she announced as a candidate. Janet Mills turned 78 this December. 78! Why is Chuck so damn determined to turn the U.S. Senate into a geriatrics wing at Shady Acres Retirement Home? This isn't a 1980s food chopper infomercial, but wait, there's more! There is already an outstanding Democrat running in this race, and he's doing very well. Perhaps you've heard of him. 41-year-old Graham Plattner, an Iraq and Afghanistan combat veteran, and now an oyster farmer. He was born into the age of the first home computers, MTV, and space shuttles. He was only about a year old when Janet Mills married her first wealthy real estate developer. Maybe that's why Chuckosaurus Schumer is throwing his weight behind one of his elders. And before anybody drags up those old Reddit posts, Graham already owned them. He apologized, and he explained that they came from a rough transition home after combat. That's not a scandal. That's honesty. And it's a hell of a lot more than we get from the career politicians protecting their own. You see, Graham Plattner, he's running on a working class platform that he believes in. He believes in Medicare for all, strong unions, and making billionaires pay their fair share while making it possible for people to buy a home again. He's a progressive candidate with real working class values, and that's something that Chuck Schumer and his billionaire buddies can't tolerate. So he went out and found him another billionaire backing dinosaur to protect the status quo. Well, I'm not having it. And I hope you're not either. See this? I've donated to Graham Plattner on ActBlue before. I could show my disgust with Schumer by going to ActBlue and donating again, but that just won't cut it. So this is what I'm doing. I hope you'll do the same. I'm putting this $10 in this envelope with a personal note. I won't tell you exactly what it says, but it rhymes with Duck Chuck. It's also telling him that I'm asking you to do the same. Graham Plattner is already running neck and neck with Susan Collins, and he's done a great job of raising money through small donor donations. Now he's going to need more to get around Jurassic Janet and move on to the general election. If Chuck Schumer wants to interfere on behalf of Wall Street, then we need to show him the power of Main Street. I'm not suggesting you can't go to ActBlue and donate to Graham Plattner. I already have and probably will again. But in addition to that, do what I'm doing. Drop a $5 or $10 bill into an envelope and send it to Graham for Maine at P.O. Box 574, Blue Hill, Maine, 04614. Include a personal note of encouragement to let his staff know that they need to press on. Imagine if we all did this. It would send a tremendous message to both Cretaceous Chuck and Jurassic Janet. It would tell them that Main Street America is fighting back, and it's a great way to follow up after that tremendous No Kings turnout. Thanks for listening. Good day.